everyone, and welcome to our Lips Unsealed podcast. Today we have with us a very fun guest, Mo from Tech Fluent. Hi, Mo.
Hey, Mo. Hey, everyone.
We're happy to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And then, as always, we have Bobby and myself, of course.
Here we are.
Get rid of us still. But Mo, do you want to start us off by giving us a little bit about yourself and what Tech Fluent is?
So, yes, my name's Mariah Logan. Like I said, you can call me Mo. A little bit about myself. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. Graduated from the University of Minnesota, like we all should if we live in Minnesota.
You go first.
Oh, yeah, go first. Yeah, so I didn't start off in the tech industry at all. I actually graduated in health and wellness. After graduating, I said I want to take a break, not go to grad school, and got into the airline industry. I was a flight attendant for 15 years, then end up actually teaching and instructing new hire flight attendants. And after 15 years, I became a little tired and said, I want to do something different. And I discovered the Power Platform School. And that's where I met Liz, because she was actually a volunteer instructor, graduated from there, got certifications, and that's what started everything. I worked as a analyst, Dynamics 365 analyst, a little under 2 years. And around that time is when Liz started Tech Fluent and asked me to join her. And this is where I am. My fun time, I like collecting plants. I have over 100 plants.
Yeah, you're talking about your son is directed towards them. You've got them.
Yeah, they got the.
You're a good plant mama. Yeah, you're giving all the sun to your plants in your room.
Mm-hmm. They got the good retail space, so I got the bad lighting. So, it's okay. They grow. That's my calm, because besides collecting plants, I'm a makeup artist. Sometimes on the weekends, I don't do it as much anymore. So that's my calm. That's what I do to calm me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I need to take some
all of that
for the green thumb aspect. That is not me. So I respect that so much.
So calming. I tell people to get into it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is because I do some acting, and I actually have gotten pretty good at putting on my own makeup. Do you do it for theater, or is it just for like photo shoots? Or
yeah, for shoots, mainly bridal.
Okay.
I end up falling into that instead of doing like shows or runway. I did that at first, but I found myself really, really liking the bridal part, and I like to calm people. It's a high stress situation, so I think that's one of my what do they call it? My superpowers.
I love it. Yeah.
People, helping people calm. So.
Yeah, I definitely need that the day of.
I wish I had a picture of the first time I put on makeup for theater, because the person who instructed me told me that you had to really, really, really like bright cheeks and really big, and I just looked, it was so clownish. After that time, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do some research, and so I've gotten it, but from the first time to the last time, just how different it is.
Yeah, it looks crazy in person, but when you're that far back,
you do have to get bold, because when you're far back in the theater, you don't see it as much, but it does make a person stand out. Otherwise, you wash out. Yeah. It just reminded me when I worked at an apparel company, we did apparel for colleges, and one time somebody messed up an order for the Minnesota Gophers, and whatever the shirt said, I can't remember if it said Minnesota and then Gophers, but they put an L in, so it actually said Golfers, GOLPHERS, and Minnesota sent them back, and I was like, that was a big miss in my opinion. You could have sent that to the golf team. That would have been so like, are the Minnesota Golfers the Golfers? Because that'd be awesome. Yeah,
that would have worked.
That would have worked. Yeah,
missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up for me.
Yep.
Thanks.
So, Tech Fluent. So let's jump into that. So Liz is Liz McGlennon, and she started Tech Fluent a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I found out about it at Summit last year. We're kind of talking about Tech Fluent again now, leading up to Summit, because last year Summit invited 25 people. It was a fair amount, right? Or is it less than that? It was a big group of people.
A little less than that, unless there's some graduates that could have very well may have been.
Yeah. It was a big number of graduates, and so they all attended, and got to hang out and got to experience the conference, and people got to meet them. I met Tech Fluent through a speed interview setup, so where people were there to just interview in a speed. So people would sit for 5 minutes with each person, and then they would kind of go around and talk about their projects, talk about their learnings, talk about their future plans, whatever, just kind of let it go where it went. And that was my first introduction. And immediately I told Liz, like, I want to jump in, feet first into this thing. It's just awesome. And so you spent most of the year getting ready for this next cohort, which is kicking off kind of now. And around us, when we get to Summit, it'll be in different stages. But again, we're going to be there. Tech Fluent will be there in a bigger way now. We'll have a booth.
Yeah.
And bringing a bunch of people who are in the current cohort, and some grads I'm sure will be there. So talk about you said you spent all this time as a flight attendant, which is also fun, by the way. I always feel like I'd want to be a flight attendant just because I do like traveling. Where's the best place you ever traveled as a flight attendant?
Gosh, my goodness. I can't name one. There's just so many places for different reasons. I want to say
you could go international too.
I did the North America, South America, Canada, Mexico. Okay. That is South America. But
yeah.
I will say in the US for me, Aspen, just because we don't get to go there often.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. I mean, I couldn't breathe, but it was beautiful.
Any time of year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was nice. I live in Minnesota, but that was just something different for me.
It is totally, because you fly right into the mountains in the valley there, and it's just beautiful surroundings. A lot of, obviously, the foliage, and about now is looking really pretty because it's all green, evergreen, but then the yellow, orange, and red aspens start changing. It's all tucked into these greens, so these swaths of color show up in the greens. It's beautiful. So I digress. Sorry. So you went from flight attendant to Power Platform into Tech Fluent, and so talk a little bit about how you jumped in there and what your first impressions were and why you like it.
Well, I was under the misconception that you had to have. I needed to know how to code. So I was ready to get a computer science degree and just pay for it. And I was randomly on Facebook, and one of my family friends that knows Liz had posted, do you want to change your life in tech? And I'm like, let me see what he's talking about. I don't know. And that's how I discovered the Power Platform School. And that was it. I just was always interested in tech, but just, is the money, the misconception. But I ended up getting into it, and especially field service. And I loved it. I didn't know that was an option for me. As a career switcher, I was in my late 30s saying, I got to go through this schooling again. But so the certifications were just, it was the best thing I think that could have happened to me, for no cost. And around COVID, a lot of the certifications were free. And that saved me a whole lot of money. So I got to keep that money in my my account. And then you have, the Power Platform School and Tech Fluent. You end up you get the education, you get people that surround you, that have your back. They help you get along, help you with resumes, help you with interviewing. They're your mentors. So it's not a program where you're there and you finish and then it's like, okay, the next cohort, they stick with you. So if it's after a year and you don't have a job, they're still helping you. You still have these mentors. You get the support system along with the education, which I think a lot of times you don't get with the typical education. You have to go search for a mentor and hope that they really care about the cause. And a lot of times they may not, but I found in Tech Fluent that you get that support. You get that support.
Yeah, a lot of times you see, like, when you started off, when you said you saw this ad, it was like, join this thing. It sounds like when you're sitting at home in the middle of the day on a Tuesday afternoon, and the commercials start rolling. It's like, join tech, tech school now. You'll make a lot of money, and call this number, and you do, and you get I knew people that work for them, and it's hardcore sales. They don't care about you. They just need to make their dollar by getting you to sign up. And once you sign up, you're in that, mixing bowl of who cares, and whether or not you fail, pass, get a job, they don't care. They say they do, but they just don't.
Yeah.
And so that's a good point that, what you mentioned is that, hey, this is, and another cool thing you mentioned was you didn't know this was available to you. And that's the other cool thing about Tech Fluent in particular, is that, again, it's showing folks who have immigrated here, who may not, again, think that even this is but then you see, people like you look, or like you are, where you're from, on LinkedIn or in your friend circle, or you're shown like you were, that, hey, this is available. I can do this. This is actually something that I can attain, and it's no cost. That from day one you're getting brought in. You get fundamental training, so it's not just throwing you into a coding or Power Platform class. It's, hey, here's, like you said, resume building. Here's LinkedIn. If you're not on, you should be on. Here's some other important things to think about that are softer skills, and then we'll get into this education side, and then we'll get into the certification side, and then the career coaching, and like you said, holding your hand and being there with you throughout that entire process until you get that job, that first job, and then get into the system and then start to roll. And so it's so fun to see folks like that, who I met last year, who were just like in that speed dating, who were just in that state of nervousness, like they just finished the cohort, they were just coming out of getting ready to do their career coaching, and then to see them get jobs now and start to blossom on LinkedIn and really embrace this, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and a lot of the learners, I make sure, especially if I'm talking to them one-on-one, I'm saying, look, you think that you don't have any connection with these, a lot of these volunteers, but they come from the same places you come from. They're career switchers. They came from a different country and had to start again. They were gig workers, all of that. They were maybe high school graduates that said, I don't know what I want to do, and then end up learning Dynamics or Power Platform. And I think that makes them, it helps them be more confident in learning and saying, okay, I belong here. That's why I do love Summit, because they actually get to see I belong here. They connect with people, and they see like, oh, this is their story. I can relate to this.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, every experience that you had outside of tech, you can bring into tech and it will help you. I mean, I was a flight attendant. We also had a phone application where the developers were asking us, how can we make this app better? And I used to go back and forth with them and say, you should do this with the app and you should do that with the app. And then fast forward, I'm a consultant and I'm doing the same thing, or making this app. And I'm telling them, like, look, some of these guys that use this application, this isn't going to work for them. So I took whatever I learned as a flight attendant using that app and brought it to my work. People that might be in finance and operate, they're able to take whatever they learned, where they worked in a warehouse, and bam, now they're on the other side, and they understand how those guys on the ground, or in that warehouse, can how it all works. So it helps them at work, once they're on that tech side.
That's an important learning thing to think about. You've got experience, tangential experience everywhere, if you think about it. So sometimes you just got to sit back and relax and think about all the things you've done in life, and make those connections going forward, because sometimes you don't even realize the amount of value you can bring to a situation based on what you've done, even if it doesn't seem relevant, like on the top level, but just when you dig deep, you have it. You're like, wow, yeah, this does, correlate with something I did here. It wasn't a programmer. I just happened to be involved in a situation that now has relevance, which is awesome. So it's always nice to sit back and kind of let your experience marinate and figure out how to pull bits of it with you when you're moving forward. And I was going to say too, we've all been in this situation where we're taking a leap of faith. I was going to ask you, Savannah. So, what was it like coming out of, again, similar to a person coming into Tech Fluent, coming out of college and looking for your first job? You've gone through all this training. What was that like for you? I mean, do you remember that? Was it difficult? Did you have a job lined up?
Yeah, well, it was kind of difficult and scary. I did have a job lined up after college, and then Unfortunately, a month into that job, they lost like a big client, and then so they had to let me go. So then there was like 3 months of limbo time of like just applying for jobs. And to your point, Mo, it would have been like nice, like how Tech Fluent offers like mentors and guidance and things like that, just to kind of help you along and make those connections and things like that. So I really love that about Tech Fluent too. So yeah, it is kind of scary out there. I know it is a little more difficult, I've heard, even today than it was like 3 years ago when I graduated. So it's crazy how quickly times change and the job market changes as well. But yeah, I love Tech Fluent, and I feel like it embodies like what the Microsoft community is all about. You mentioned volunteers, and I know like Ellipse Solutions has a couple of volunteers, and like you said, going to places like Summit and all these people get to meet who the volunteers are and everything. Can you talk a little bit about how you can become a volunteer?
Oh yeah, just reach out to us on techfluentacademy.org. I'm always shoving QR codes in people's face, like volunteering. I always give them the background information, and I tell the volunteers immediately, like, look, once you volunteer at Tech Fluent, you will not want to leave this place.
Like you're handcuffed. I mean, you really don't want to leave.
You don't. I volunteered first for Tech Fluent. I just had a session on field service, and I told Liz, like, I don't care what you have going on, I want to do it. I'm in. She just has that thing about her that you just want to volunteer. And there's so many people that are looking for something like this to give back. So go on techfluentacademy.org, sign up, we'll get back to you. And there's so much you can do. You can be a mentor, you can work office hours. Thank you so much, Bobby.
I was to say that was my favorite part, Savannah. We did office hours, which were times for the folks who were there in the middle of this like fundamental training for the first 2 months, 6 weeks. It was a a long period where they were just getting introduced to Tech Fluent and the program. And so once or twice a week we'd have these office hours, and it was typically Mo and I. Jessica popped on and Mike popped on, but I think for the most part it was Mo and I kind of holding it down.
Yeah,
especially on a Friday afternoon or evening.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But it was just a fun time. There was that one time where we couldn't get to all the questions. A lot of times it was pretty quiet, and it would be Mo and I talking, trying to get some people talking. And every once and then they would start to bubble up. But there was one day where it was just like almost towards the end where it was just like rapid. I mean, I couldn't keep up.
Oh, wow.
I think it was just me and Mo, and it was just like boom, 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 question after question, where they're just trying to figure out what is an ERP, what is what is this? How do I do that? Should I do this or this? And just trying to help guide these folks, and just super rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the different roles. The volunteer, you could do it. It is plenty of things. Let me see. Let me look up. There's so many roles. You can be an interviewer, where it's your schedule, and we're really flexible. So an interviewer. You can help with career. You can be a career mentor.
Yep.
Also, what other thing? Teaching sessions. Am I missing something, Bobby? There's just so many different roles.
Ongoing, obviously, it's growing too. I mean, by next year, this is going to. That's why it's good to get this and keep this going. And some of it'll be a good, just to kind of line people up for this next exponential iteration of what this program could be. But yeah, there's higher level, like, organizing positions. Like, so you have all the mentors, so you have people organizing the mentors to help them stay focused and get feedback from them. So there's each cohort has a one-to-one mentor. So if you're a cohort, you get one mentor who's going to help you out on a weekly basis. Somebody else is coordinating those. You mentioned career coaches. Do we still need career coaches for this particular cohort, or do we get those filled?
For this cohort, we are done, but we're starting to take in more people. So we got quite a few people from the Power Platform Conference.
Yep.
Higher level board members.
Yep. Interviewing was great. Interviewing was one of office hours. It's all fun. Office hours are fun. The interviewing was one-on-one. So once the folks have gone through the fundamentals, then in this case we had more folks than we could fit into the cohort this year. So you have to go through an interview process and talk to everybody and kind of get to know them on a different level. You've talked to them very technically or with their questions in mind, but kind of getting to know them on a personal level and dig a little bit deeper. And that was a fun opportunity. I think I interviewed about 10, 12 people. Wow. Yeah. It was fun.
It was really cool. Nice.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in that. I think we hit all the volunteer positions, but like I said, just always in need, get your name in there. Again, once you, I was hooked, like I said, day one. And I want to say that what hooked me, obviously being with the people hooked me. Like in that moment, I spent an hour in this room, a little under an hour in this room with folks and talked to, probably in that time, 8, maybe 10. It was a number. And, it was just like, wow, they're so passionate and so excited to get into the field that we're in. And just, it was definitely exhilarating. But then kind of to your point, once you get to know Liz, and I'm going to throw Mariah in there as well. It's just, you can feel that passion and you feel that energy and you want to be around that. So that's just another reason that, the people that are doing this, the volunteers, Jessica and Mike and Robert and all these people that are volunteering, and Allie and Ashley, and just, everybody you get to meet in the second tier, volunteer groups are also super passionate about this. And so it makes it fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, we need marketing. We always can use help with marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. You're reading her little byline, Savannah Ball marketing.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's all type of positions. Just say you want to volunteer and we'll find a place for you.
Find a place. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because at first I saw the link come through that Bobby sent, I think, and in my head it was all like, oh, they need really technical based people. So I didn't really go full into it. But yeah, that's something I'll have to definitely check out a little more. You've convinced me already.
The marketing part is like, especially if you're not a social media person. So right now we have some people that, but we wouldn't mind having you. We wouldn't.
A couple of experts. I'm a marketing hack. Savannah's an expert. I'm just, I'm here to throw the 1,000 ideas, at them, and that they can grab one, and they're the ones that make it look good.
Yeah. There's some people like that. Brian, he'll throw some ideas and we put it together. Thank you for those ideas, Brian. If you end up watching,
Shout out.
Yeah,
we'll tag him to make sure he watches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we need a little bit of everyone here. And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really do.
Well-rounded. It takes a city.
It does.
A twin city.
A
little Minnesota joke.
Goodness. Well, kind of wrapping up here, I think last time we had Liz on our podcast, and she kind of shared with us like the goals that they had in mind for the upcoming year. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like for future plans coming up, does Tech Fluent have any goals, or what kind of do you guys have in store for the upcoming?
Well, I know we almost hit the mark of 100 graduates that successfully complete the program. And we have hit that, mostly women, underserved communities. I know this next go round, we will have a cohort that will be based in Minnesota, and we want to have more visibility in Minnesota. We feel like we're everywhere but Minnesota. So that's one of our goals, to have a new cohort in-house, and also a cohort, fingers crossed, in Montana, I believe. So that's one of
Wyoming, or is it Montana?
Wyoming. Sorry, I start going out west, and I'm like, I feel like they're all.
Once you cross the border of the Dakotas, it's all just one big.
I know. Sorry,
I'm there with you.
Those states. So yes, mainly natives. So that's something good. We're really expanding.
Yeah.
And we're
this is through grants and through people recognizing the need to do what Tech Fluent's doing, which is to serve, like you said, an underserved community of folks, to help them start building generational wealth, because this is a huge disparity still in underserved communities, where they're still struggling from a societal ability to get ahead and build up some wealth for their families going down the generations. And so, that's just a huge, and in Wyoming, like I said, there's native communities. They'll actually come into whereas the current Tech Fluent is online, it's all virtual. This will be in person because they have to come off reservation where they don't necessarily have equipment or services, and they'll be in person, doing this learning, which is awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And I think Bobby mentioned that you guys will be at Summit this year. Is that right? And you'll have a booth and everything?
Yes, we'll have a booth, putting that together right now.
Nice.
We will have 15 learners and 2 graduates, so a total of 17 graduates and learners going to Summit. We're excited about it. Folks are excited. We picked 15 of our top learners that we thought would represent Tech Fluent the best. And we're going to go there and have fun and meet, connect, hopefully get some jobs for some of them.
These folks are itching to network. When I asked the question of all the people I interviewed, it's like, so you said you want to go to Summit. What's your why? What do you want to do there? I was like, I just want to meet people in this industry and get to know them and get the learning. So they're just super excited to get out and network and meet all the people that are doing what they want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to stop by your booth. Do you know what booth number you're at by chance?
1836.
1836.
I don't know why I would remember that, but I did.
That's good.
We'll put that in, and we'll put all the links when we drop this, Mo. So we'll make sure we point people to volunteering, to your booth, and just get as much information out as we can.
Yes, thank you, please. We know it's going to be a blast. We hope to see you all. Everyone watching, please stop by. Please volunteer. Just say hi if you can. We know you get busy sometimes, but say hello to us.
Heck yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, cool. Bobby, were there any other points that you wanted to touch on before we go into our last silly questions?
No, I think we got it. We really appreciate having you on, Mo. And again, can't say it enough. This is a great organization. Happy to support it, and looking forward to seeing you soon here in a couple of weeks in San Antonio.
Yes.
Nice. Cool. Well, then I'll just quickly ask these silly little questions that we normally like to end our episodes on, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
We started this before you got on, Savannah, talking about how silly we both were. So this is the time to get really, goofy.
Yeah. Silly with me. I'm a bit silly. I try to keep it under wraps.
Well, I don't know how silly these questions are today. Some days they're more silly than others, so it just depends. I've really been leaning into the fall-based questions with, going into October and the weather getting a little more chilly lately, or not really, but I don't know how it is around your area. I was just in Michigan this past week, and so it was a little chillier up there. It got me more in the mood a little bit. But to start off, what is your guys' favorite fall movie?
Oh, man.
One to get you in the mood, or maybe it's a scary movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not personally into that, but
man, I know I'm not a big movie watcher. It's usually something. Did Chucky come out in the fall? No. I know it's usually a horror movie. I don't watch horror movies too much anymore.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'll throw mine out there while you're thinking. The first thing that came to mind, and I don't know why, just because I think there's the iconic cover scene, and it's When Harry Met Sally.
That was mine. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're walking in the park, and it's the fall leaves are behind them, and for some reason that's the first image that popped in my mind.
Yes, that is.
And it's been on TV for the last 3 weeks. I don't know why, but maybe because it's fall. I don't know, but I keep seeing it show up on TNT every time I turn the channel. There's Harry and Sally, chopping it up.
Yes, I literally made my husband buy the movie on Prime this past week. It was my birthday, and I was like, I really want to watch this. It's fall, and so now we bought it, and so
you own it now on Prime. So it's in your Prime folder. Awesome.
Yes,
I think I got one. Did Children of the Corn come out in the fall?
I would think so. Yeah.
That's
a spooky movie.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Is that a Stephen King book, or is it just make me feel like it's a Stephen King book?
It should be. If it's not,
if it's not, it should be. Yeah. Children
living
in the corn. Yeah. Sounds like just a weird, concept.
Yes.
But a scary movie too. There's one guy that's in that who's really good. I can't think of his name, but he's a great character actor. You would know him, like, if I showed a picture. Just he's really got an interesting look about him, and he's been in a couple different horror movies. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was older in the movie. He was one of the older kids in Children of the Corn. Yeah, just a really interesting looking dude, and then just a really good actor.
It reminds me of the fall. Spooky movies remind me of the fall. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. Another good one is like to me, like Harry Potter series that like with fall to me as well.
Also very fall.
Good.
Yeah. So
do you have a favorite Harry Potter movie? Just now digressing, but of the series, 1 through 7,
I have not gotten through all of them, if I'm being honest. Every year, like, we'll start with number 1, and then I just recently got the farthest I've ever gotten, which I think we're on number 5 now.
Okay.
So I like number 1 the best, I think, so far.
They're so cute. It's the least dark one, and they're just so freaking cute. All of them, every single
my sister dragged me to those, so I don't know which. She just used to be like, "We're watching this." She grew up around that Divergent Harry Potter era, so I just used to be like, "Okay, I'll go with you."
That's fun. And I'm the fool that watches them every time if it's on TV. It's like a comfort channel. If I see them on, I'm just putzing around the house. I put Harry Potter on the background, let it roll. So I've probably seen them all way too many times. I like number 3. I like The Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's probably my favorite.
That is a good one. Cool. Okay, on to the next question. Still kind of fall question, but are you more of like a fall or a Halloween decoration kind of person? I feel like there's 2 different categories of like how people decorate their house in like October and September.
Fall. I mean, I can get really crazy with the Halloween costumes, but the fall decorations for me. I like the different pumpkins and the gourds. I'm from Minnesota, so I appreciate that type of thing.
Yes.
And the colors are really pretty. I do like fall colors, so it's not a bad way to decorate.
Yeah.
They are very pretty. What's your best Halloween costume? You said you're very into Halloween.
I didn't get to do it, but Ursula.
Oh.
Yeah. I love all those wicked Disney characters.
Yeah.
That would be
yeah, I do. I like all of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer. I decorate for Halloween. Savannah, you probably have you seen a picture of my Halloween, right?
Maybe. I'm sure I have. I don't remember though.
I'll share it. I'll put it whenever you post this, I'll drop a picture into the chat. But I created it a long time ago, like 10 years ago, like a 9-foot Jack Skellington out of wood and foam, and he's realistic looking, dude, and started putting him up at Christmas. I didn't do it at Halloween. I had him in his Christmas outfit. So I was that that blasphemous person on, instead of putting up, manger, I have Jack Skellington and his dog Zero on my Christmas decoration.
Oh my gosh.
And then so a couple years ago, I dressed him down into his normal outfit for Halloween. And then I just got crazy and I started adding little elements of that movie. And so I've got a pretty full tableau with the gal and him and the doctor and this mayor and just all these little pieces now that fit the movie. So I do have a pretty big Halloween scene.
You got into it. I don't think I have seen that, Bobby. Yeah, you'll have to share it with us.
I'll put a picture in. Yeah, it's gotten pretty outrageous. Yeah, I got to back it down a little bit. Last year was a little crazy.
The neighborhood's like, okay, Bobby, let's cool it.
Yeah, well, no, the neighbor across the street loves it. She's like, what are you adding this year? And I was like, oh my God, now I'm under pressure. I've got to add something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and like a mad scientist and, create these things.
I love that. I love when people get into it like that.
No.
For me, I'm personally like a fall decorations. Like I love just like the pumpkins, the classic, but my husband is more so into like Halloween. He loves like the bats, the skeletons, the ghosts. So we have to compromise. I'm like, okay, October is just for Halloween, and then September and November are like fall, like
Gotcha.
Thanksgiving and things like
so
that.
do you wait till the actual, like you're like a dedicated, like I can't decorate until like Sunday was the fall equinox. I can't decorate till it is fall, or do you care? As long as it starts getting crispy, you're good.
Normally it's like, I feel like September, like when September hits, that's for me.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but.
Yeah, me too. It's like when it starts feeling it, bring them out. Yeah, we had our fall decoration. We do some fall decorations too to start with, just like little, like fall things, like you said, pumpkins and leaves and
yeah.
I think I started a little too early this year. It was like
Did
the
you?
end of August. Yeah, I was.
It's hard not to when you go to Target and that, like in June they've got all the fall decorations out and they're tempting you, making you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah. I don't blame you at all.
Okay, thank you. I
support it over here. Yes.
Yeah. This is a decorating support group, by the way, too. We meet every other night to talk about that.
Yes, that's funny.
Funny.
Well, cool. That's all of the questions that I had for you guys today. Didn't get too crazy over here, but just something fun to end the podcast out with. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Mo, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate you taking your time to share with us all Tech Fluent has to offer. And yeah, we'll share the links and your booth number and all that good stuff when we post it. And look forward to seeing you at Summit.
Yes. I look forward to seeing you at Summit, Savannah. And thank you for giving those questions. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Savannah. I like the last questions the most.
Yeah, me too.
Those are always fun.
Yes, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.